Hey, what's up, gang? Welcome back to another episode, and thanks for joining me to another part of Business Talks. And today we're going to talk about finance and budgeting and why is that important and how we should go about doing that. So, finance talks a lot about money, right? And different aspects of money. And today we're going to talk specifically about budgeting. And what is budgeting? So with finance, say that's all your money, right? And then if you have income, that's the money that comes in. Net profit means the money that you have left over after all the expenses, right? And budgeting means how much you're spending on each part of your expenses. So when I say budgeting, I might be talking about budgeting for your meals, budgeting for your housing, budgeting for your gas, things like these is what budgeting is. So the way that budgeting gets started, right? And I've written a couple points here just to give us a quick outline of what we're going to talk about today and try to cover as much as possible. To me personally, budgeting is the key factor to growing my business, to actually having a well-shaped life, and make sure that I don't get in trouble and having to be able to work, having to work like 24/7 for someone else, all right, or for something, or for no reason at all. So if I could avoid working, then I definitely try to sleep in as much as possible and not work as much as I can. But at the same time, I do like what I'm doing. So if I like what I'd rather prefer to not get paid much, but do what I like, than getting paid a lot and not like what I do. Personally, that's how I try to live, how I do things. So if I want to keep doing that, if I want to keep doing what I like, then I have to budget. So at the beginning of my career, most of it was just being employed for someone else and doing jobs that I really don't like and following bosses' orders that I really didn't agree with. But because I needed money and I had to work, then I would work. But say, for instance, if I made minimum wage, if I only made $10 an hour, was $11 now, if I made that money, I knew at the end of the week I was going to have $400. Right, so that $400, I would have to, I knew I had to save some of it. So for me to get started on saving, I would have to know what my money is going into. So that is what I decided to do, and I began budgeting. So every receipt that I would take, every expense that I would make, I would save the receipt. And then at the end of the month, I would go ahead and add all them up. It's really simple. You separate into piles. You keep all your receipts, or maybe you have a bank statement. You go through your bank statement and you kind of add everything. So if you have a phone, right, phone bill, phone expenses, that'll be like $50, $100. Say food, how much you're spending on food. If you're eating out a lot, you might spend $600, $700 on food. Might be more. If you have gas, maybe you like to drive a lot, or you go different places and don't really think about it. You might spend $200 on gas, and then you have insurance and the car payments, and maybe you have rent. So all these things add up, right? And you might have, say, if at the end of the week I might have $450 in expenses. Where the other $50 came from, I had no idea. Maybe it came from a friend, maybe I found it, maybe I scratched a ticket. Who knows where it came from, right? So my goal is to get it down. So I figured if I could save $20, right, then that's a win for me. So the way that I do this is, for example, let's take with food, right? Food, people hate giving up food, right? And I do too. But say if, for instance, I went to 10 different restaurants, and in that one restaurant I get my favorite meal. Let's say it's a hamburger, right? If I get a hamburger, and the restaurant that I go to, they'll cost me $15, right? There's a lot of different places I could buy a burger at. Yes? So instead of going to the $15 place, I get the same burger, maybe even better quality tasting, at a $10 or at $8, right? This is an example that I have. I used to go to this Mexican restaurant, and they had the soup that I like, right? It's called pozole, right? They have pozole, and at first it was like $8, and now it's like $15. So I'm like, wait, I'm not gonna go there anymore because it's not worth it for me to spend $15, and it's not in my budget, right? So I went a little while, and then I found a new place, and that place, it's even better than my old place, and that place cost $8. So I'm actually, I'm saving, or I'm about the same price range. So you have to look into these things. And one of the key, and I try to save too, like if I could somehow manage it, where if I'm spending $600 a month, and it becomes kind of like a game. To me, it's like more like that, because I try to see how I could better my score. And my score would be, instead of spending $600, spend $400, right? So that's $200. $200 every month. That means I'm gonna have $2,000, $2,400 I'm going to have at the end of the year. So that's how I look at it. And what is my budget? So if my budget was $600 without me even adding any of these numbers up, so my budget max is $600 and I can't go above that, what am I going to do to make it go down to $400 in the example that I gave you? And I write down steps of what I'm going to do as far as trying to do that. Next thing is how to start. So that, once I make my plan, then I start putting it into place and figure out if it's working or it's not working. Sometimes I try new things and it doesn't work, and I have to restart over again in 3 months and see what happened, because I forget. And now that I have my budget, right? I have my budget, I know how much money I'm gonna save, and at the end of the year, if everything goes right, I know how much money I'm gonna have left over. So if I have $2,000 left over, right, what am I gonna do with those $2,000? Why am I working so hard to save this money? The way I look at it, every dollar that I save, it's opportunity for me. It's the way I have so many options to spend that dollar, right? Either I could spend it on entertainment, I could spend it on myself, I could spend it on my business, right? So you have to select. If you have $2,000, what are you going to do with it? Most people want to take that money and buy themselves like a new car, or buy themselves a new TV, or new clothes, or this and that. So I like my lifestyle. I do not like to work a lot. So I know if I buy a car and I put $2,000 down, then I'm going to have to go back to the same job I don't like, right? And do things I hate to get paid money that I need to eat and to live and to pay that car off. I don't want to do that. So I'd rather live within my means and have like a used car, and like used everything, and be able to wake up late, be able to go out, be able to not show up to work whenever I like. Okay? So here with my options, I could do several things. I could either spend it in something that's gonna not benefit me, or I could use it for growing my business. So what I did when I started working as an employee, and then I grew to I was able to become my own business owner, I needed to spend money on my advertising. I needed to spend money on business cards. I needed to spend money on my business license and all these things. And that's what my money went to that, right? So once I have the business cards, once I have the advertising, then I was able to save a little more money and let people know that I'm in the business, right? And then also, when you're a business owner, there's sometimes there's losses and things that you didn't realize were cost more to perform than what you thought, and you charge. And specifically for me, I would charge a little less than what I thought it was going to cost, and I ended up paying out of my pocket. But there's a lot of learning experiences that you have there. So, but because I spend that money then I was able to learn from it, and I was able to create a business and a flow of cash that it's fun for me to do that type of work. Okay, so that was one option. Another option is you can invest it also. So if you like your job, you like doing what you do, and you don't want to start a business, then passive investing is a good idea. You can invest in a business, you can find a partnership, you could put it in a bank, you could buy real estate. All these things are you capable now of doing if just budget. So everything starts off with budgeting. If you need to put together a budget for your lifestyle and figure out where your money is going, let me know. Also, very key factor is your taxes. So taxes are coming up. If you need some ideas on how to do your taxes so you get better results from it and how to prepare down the line to meet your goals, also talk to me. If you like this video and you want me to make another one about something else, let me know. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and then it helps me make a lot more, and you'll see another video from me. Thank you, and talk to you soon.